Hello, I am going to explain about Davison and Germer experiment. Davison and Germer's accidental discovery of the diffraction of electrons was the first direct evidence confirming de-Broglie's hypothesis that particles can have wave properties as well. The experimental arrangement used by Davison and Germer is shown in this figure. It consists of an electron gun which comprises a tungsten filament F heated by a low tension battery. The electrons emitted by the filament are accelerated in an electrical field of known potential difference from a high tension battery. The electrons are collimated to a fine beam by allowing them to pass through a system of suitable slits. This entire arrangement to produce a fine beam of electrons accelerated to a desired velocity is called as electron gun. The collimated beam of electrons is made to strike a nickel target capable of rotating about an axis perpendicular to the plane of the paper. The electrons are scattered in all directions by the atoms of nickel crystal. The intensity of the electron beam scattered in a given direction is measured by allowing it to enter in a Faraday cylinder called the collector, which can be rotated about the same axis as the target. The collector is connected to a galvanometer whose diffraction is proportional to the intensity of the beam entering the collector. The whole apparatus is enclosed in an evacuated chamber. In one set of observations, the phase of the target nickel crystal was presented to the incidence beam of electrons. The potential difference between the filament F and the electron gun was adjusted at 40 volts and that gradually increased in small steps. For each value of potential difference, polar graphs were drawn between angle theta, the angle between the incident beam and the beam entering the collector known as colatitude, and the collector current. In these graphs, the length of the radius vector corresponding to a certain angle was drawn directly proportional to the collector current. For the potential difference of 40 volt, a smooth curve was obtained. As the potential difference was gradually increased, a little bump began to appear on the curve, which increased to a maximum for V is equals to 54 volts and theta is equals to 50 degree, as shown in the figure. Beyond 54 volts, the bump again decreased to become insignificant at about 68 volts. The pronounced maxima observed corresponding to accelerating potential of 54 volts at an angle 50 degree with the electron beam provided a convincing proof that electrons were associated with waves which, after scattering from the regularly spaced atoms of the nickel crystal, give rise to a constructive interference. In the above case, when the collector current is maximum at scattering, colatitude, angle of 50 degree corresponding to accelerating potential of 54 volts, the incident and the scattered beam evidently makes an angle of 65 degree with the family of Bragg's planes and shown in this figure. X-ray diffraction studies reveal that the spacing of planes in this family is 0.91 angstrom. So, taking n is equals to 1, theta is equals to 65 degree, one can calculate the wavelength of the incidence wave by applying Bragg's law, that is 2d sine theta is equals to n lambda. We have 2 into 0.91 as we know above, into sine 65 degree is equals to 11, lambda is equals to 2 into 0.91 into 0.9063, which gives 1.662 angstrom. Now applying de Broglie's relation for matter waves, we have lambda is equals to h by mv, which is equals to 12.27 divided by root v, which v is the volts, we got it. Since v is equals to 54 volts, lambda is equals to 12.27 divided by root 54, which is equal to 1.673 angstrom. So obviously there is an excellent agreement between the two results. Thus Davison and Germer's experiment may consider to be a verification of the de Broglie hypothesis of matter waves. The analysis of the Davison-Germer experiment is actually straightforward, since the energy of an electron increases when it enters a crystal by an amount equal to the work function of the surface. Hence, the electron speeds in the experiment were greater inside the crystal and the corresponding de Broglie wavelength shorter than the corresponding values outside. An additional complication arises from the interference between waves diffracted by different families of Bragg planes, which restricts the occurrence of maxima to certain combinations of electron energy and angle of incidence rather than merely to any combination. They obey the Bragg equation. So that is what the